Good morning, Stephanie. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you? It's a very good day, and of course, it's beautiful, and obviously, it's a day worth to know about accounting and business. This is 93.7. And of course, if you're just joining us, we have quite a very good topic today. Well, of course, Mr. Luzambo will do well to get and introduce it. But I should actually tell you that you could be part of our discussion on 07716162990. Of course, do also follow us right on Facebook. Send us a comment, and of course, just make sure you share our live broadcast. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we are live. And of course, today we actually look at how to find your niche in business. That's of course a very important thing to do, even as you do business. Mr. Lusambo, you definitely do have a presentation for us, so why don't we throw it to you?
Yes, so this is an amazing presentation. It's about the book by one of the great authors, Jim Collins. The book is titled Good to Great. So he's
Mhm.
explained 6 steps in this book that are essential for any company that wants to succeed, but also for every business person who wants to grow their business, wants to expand. So Jim Collins in his book Good to Great has put forth 6 lessons that are very, very helpful. But for the purpose of this session, we're going to focus on just one among those 6 that Jim Collins has put in place. Actually, we're focusing on part number 4. Part number 4 of those 6 concepts is the hedgehog concept. And the hedgehog concept is the one that specifically narrows down how one can find your niche, how you can benefit from your niche, and things like that. So today we are going to focus more on the hedgehog concept because that's the one that is going to be more relevant to our discussion today, but also it's the one that helps us to understand how one can find their niche in business. It might
Mm.
interest you, Stephanie, to know that for you to become a successful business person, you must have a niche. One famous businessman entrepreneur once said, and I quote, he said, "Millions are found in niches." That's a very important point. And this is a concept millions of entrepreneurs have adopted even in our country and several other places. Because when you have a niche, then you have a business and you have to focus on that niche. So that's what we want to look at this particular morning. I hope you have a niche before we
I
begin,
do.
Stephanie. Do you have any niche in your business?
I
Fantastic.
do have
All
that
right. So
link,
now,
and of course, I'll be willing to share it later on.
fantastic. I'll be happy to learn about your niche. But in the meantime, let's get into this. And
Mhm.
the reason why I find this to be extremely helpful and important is partly because it explains to us quite a lot of great stuff here. All right. So if you look at the hedgehog concept, it answers one very important question that most business people ask, and just human beings in general. We ask ourselves, what should I do with my life? All right.
Mhm.
We ask ourselves this question several times, but for Christians, we know what we should do with our lives. But I'm asking this question in the business sense. What should I do with my business life? That's in the business sense. What should I do with my life and business? Now, if you are one person who is in such a position, you've been wondering what to do with your life or where to go with your business, this hedgehog concept in the book Good to Great by Jim Collins is a very, very great place to start, Stephanie. Now,
Mhm.
here, Jim Collins and his team, they took it upon themselves to research about 1,435 good companies over the period of 40 years. All right, so they had to do a thorough research. And they identified 11 companies out of those 1,435 that became great. All right, and found something striking. And then they found some striking commonalities across all these great companies. So you can see they did the research for 1,435 good companies, and out of those, 11 came to be very great. So Jim Collins and this team they identified some shocking, striking commonalities across all these great companies. And Jim Collins says in his book that, one thing that all these 11 great companies did was to use the Hedgehog concept. All right? They used the Hedgehog concept. And for example, he says each company had a single idea or principle. In short, we are saying they had one core area which guided everything that they did. It's not talking about general dealers. These companies were not general dealers. They had one thing that made them great. So, in the same token, we can apply the concept to unlock your potential and find out what you are meant to do in your life. So we can use this hedgehog concept to help somebody who wants to find a niche, to find out what is it that they can do in their business life. Now, finding your niche could be very, stressful. It's not easy, but once you get it right, you are done. That's how success starts. Millions come in niche. So to every business person, every entrepreneur will tell you, can you find your niche? This is why when people come for mentorship, we ask them, when you start this business, who is going to buy from you? We ask these questions partly because it's a very, very important question to answer for everybody who wants to grow their business. Finding your niche, finding who is going to buy from you. Now, I want you to look at the diagram there, all right? That's the diagram of the hedgehog concept. So you're going to see that there are three circles there, all right? There's the top circle says what you are deeply passionate about. Now, we're going to go into details. This is not like this kind of dongolistic passion people have where they just say, I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about writing stuff. No, that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? We'll get into details. So the first box shows what are you deeply passionate about, all right? And then if you look at the other two boxes down there, one of them says, what can you be best in the world at? What is it that when you look at yourself today as Stephanie and you say, you know what, I think in the whole world, I can be best at this. What is it? That sounds so, outrageous, right? Sounds so big a question to ask. But as we discuss later, you're going to see just how important this question is for every business person who wants to succeed. What drives your economic engine? That's another question to ask. So there are three extremely important questions every business owner must ask themselves. All right? But also when you're asking yourself what you can be best at in the world, you also need to know what you can't be best at in the world. That's very important. Some people want to do everything. And because you want to do everything, you end up messing up everything. In the end, customers run away from you. What can't you do best? Identify what you're not good at and know what you're good at as a business. When you look at what drives your economic engine here, Stefan, we are saying, what's your denominator? What's the differentiator? Or profit per X? Now, a good example here, employee customer brand, for example, it could be employee. What makes you succeed is employees. You have amazing employees. What makes you succeed? You have amazing customer brand, all right? Amazing customers, strong and powerful brand like Apple have. They have a very strong, powerful brand. So now let's get into details of this to suit our situation. So that an SME, that lady, that man, that woman in the village, or that person who wants to start a business can learn how they can find their niche and just make money and just enjoy themselves. So now let's get into one. All right. Now here, Stephanie, a deep understanding of these three circles can mean the difference between poverty and success, a life of financial freedom. So find your core, focus resources on the intersection. So you can see there's an intersection here. There's that part on those three circles. There's an intersection set there, which is linked to all those three. What you're deeply passionate about, what you can do best in the world, what drives the economic engine, and all those three are connected at the middle there. You can see that circle there. That's your intersection. That's where you must focus on, focusing on the intersection. All right. Now, let's put it plain here, Stephanie. For us to apply the hedgehog concept, for you to apply this one, you need to first develop a deep understanding of each of the three circles. So now let's begin and explain these three circles. The first one says, what can you be best in the world at? Now, let's be clear here, friends. This is not a goal to become the best in the world. No, this is not a goal or intention. All right. This question is meant to help us understand what we can be best in the world at, and also you can't be best at. Now, when we talk about the world, the word world does not mean the entire globe. No, the world can be subdivided. It could be in your community. What can you do best at in your community? What can you do best at in your class? What can you do best at in your neighborhood, in your wherever you are, at your place of work? So the word world does not mean the entire globe in this context. The second question says, what drives your economic engine? Now, good to great companies know clearly what drives their profitability. You must know why people buy from you. I know why my clients come back and buy from me. And knowing why people buy from you helps you to keep and retain customers. So great companies discover one denominator, the profit per X, which Jim Collins calls the profit per X. Now, the profit per X is that one thing that impacts their economic engine most significantly. The X could be the employee. Do you have, because sometimes for you to succeed, you need to work with people who are knowledgeable, great employees, or maybe you need to find a much more strategic location or region where you can operate from. And sometimes maybe you need, to find customers who are able to pay. Identify a location where you can find customers who are able to pay. Build a consumer brand. For example, I am a celebrated lecturer, Stephanie, in my field. Honestly, I do an amazing job. There's no single chartered accountant in my period who's not heard of my name and who does not know what I do in financial reporting. I have made such a name because I know why people and my clients come back to me, and I've maximized on that. I never messed that one up because I've understood one thing that I'm good at and I've improved on it. So the other box tells you what you are deeply passionate about. Now, this is not about motivation, all right? Like motivating your people, or about stimulating passion, making people go through emotion. That's not what we're talking about here. This is about discovering what you and your people are truly passionate about, be it for the product, it could be in the industry, or what your company stands for. What are your core values? What do you want to accomplish? When I started my family finance course, I had a vision. I noticed that we had a lot of divorce cases. In 2021 alone, we had 2,000 divorce cases. Now we have over that. All right. So when I developed my course, Family Finance, my aim was to help people that are in relationship, people that are in marriages, to be able to find a common ground where they can deal with their finances. Because among the top 3 reasons why people divorce, one of them is financial issue. So I thought, wow, there could be a market here. Why don't I talk to people that are in relationships about finances? Why don't I create a course that helps them to understand the importance of transparency, financial transparency, accountability, and things like that? Maybe, and only maybe, this can help save marriage and relationships. And it is working for a lot of people. They are telling me, you know what, thank you so much. May God bless you. My wife and I have just bought a plot. My husband and I have done this together for the first time in our marriage after 10 years of being together. Now, this gives me so much joy. I'm passionate about sharing knowledge, but I'm not passionate about something that doesn't pay me. This thing pays me. My passion pays me. It's not free passion. So if you are armed with a true understanding of these 3 circles, right, you're going to see that the great companies now focus all their efforts and the resources on the intersection of the 3 circles. That part on the middle there, now that becomes your focus point. How do you connect these 3 circles together so that they can benefit you financially? And friends, this is where the hedgehog concept now lies and makes sense. This single-minded focus guides the decision of the entire company, because now you have one thing you are focusing on. Now you have those 3 circles, you have the intersection set. Another intersection set is now that one thing that you come and know, this is the reason why people come to me. And now you direct all your entire focus on that intersection set there. All right, that's what they said. So let's talk about some few things here. If you have a business, we must understand here that to find the right direction for your company or your business, first of all, you must find your hedgehog concept. Everybody in this world has that hedgehog concept. All you have to do is pay attention, look around yourself, focus and focus. You're going to see why people come. If you have a salon, why would somebody jump? Somebody who lives in Divala, somebody who lives in Kabulonga, why would they leave all the salons in Kabulonga? They leave all the salons in Chilenje, they come to a salon in Kabwata. Why? Do you think they come to you because you look nice? Or because your shop is clean? Why do they come to you? It's not about your looks. There's a reason why somebody would leave all the salons in Kabulonga and come to your salon in Kabwata. There's a reason why somebody would do that. So finding that becomes your strength. However, this process, I must be honest, it can take years for some to just find, right? So now here is how you can deliberately apply the concept. Let me now give you an idea of how you can deliberately apply this concept. So use the 3 circles as your guide, okay? Number 1, you have to form a council of 12 right people. Now, this is what, let me just do this.
93
right,
point.
so now this is where, now if you look at this one here now, this is now where I want to give you an idea of what you can apply at your personal level to find that hedgehog concept, because it's not as easy as we are talking about it. Now, use those 3 circles as your guide, okay? Number 1, if you're a business person who wants to grow, form a council of 5 to 12 people, all right? Right people. Now, what do we mean about this council? You know, you can have, for example, I have a group of people on my private Facebook group where we mentor people about business. We talk about business, investment appraisal. We do all those things. The reason why we have a private group on Facebook is because we want to have people who have like mindsets, because they all know that we're working towards greatness, working towards something. So now you can have 5 to 12, a minimum of 5 people. Do you know why it's 5? Because you can't have the same decision. All right. If there's a problem, there's going to be 3, 4, 2 against, or 4 of them, and things like that too. This helps you to arrive at a conclusion. Have 5 to 12 right people. Now, these people you should be able to meet periodically to debate and perform these 4 steps I'm going to mention to you now. So let's say you have 5 people, and all of you want to do, maybe let's say the chicken business, or you want to do salon business, you want to do this business. It's like, fine, how many are we? 5. Okay, let's meet every Tuesday to analyze whether this is a good thing or not. When you meet as 5 people, a group of minimum of 5 to 12 people, ask yourselves questions about that which you want to achieve. All right. Have a debate, engage in a dialogue and debate amongst yourselves. Is this a good thing? Why do you think it's a good thing? So different suggestions are going to come up. This one says, no, I've done this business before. Here are the challenges I encountered. This one says, you know what? I have done this also, and here are the problems I faced. Oh, okay, fine. For me, I've succeeded. Here's what I've been able to do. And this is true, Stephanie, because you're going to find somebody sells fish, goes to Siavonga, they buy fish from the same lake. They come to Lusaka, their fish is done before they arrive. Somebody goes to Siavonga, the same fish, the same lake, they come to Lusaka, same river. They come here, they make losses, they don't sell. Why? Because one of them has understood the hedgehog concept, one of them has not. This is why when you go to Siavonga, you buy fish, you bring to Lusaka with your friend, same fish, same price, same everything. Your friend quickly sells, it's done. You, 1 month, you're not yet done. You're still selling, you're struggling. So that helps you when you're asking questions, you engage in dialogue and debate, be honest, help each other, ask questions, control each other, suggestions come up, give yourself assignments, go and research, all right? Once that is done, step number 3 is for you to make executive decisions. Make executive decisions, all right? Don't just make decisions out of excitement. No, there are people who just decide. because it's fantastic, or because they want to feel good about somebody. Feel free to be different. Be okay telling everybody else, you know what, I think all of you are wrong, because you strongly believe you have a genuine point that everybody should look at. You should be objective if you want to grow. You cannot grow your business if you're less objective. You just want to do things that people say, no, you might end up more shy, yeah, you might end up and things like that. No, you don't grow like that. You've got to have a positive mindset, a good attitude toward work. All right. Now, number 4, as a team of 5 to 12 people, conduct autopsies and analysis. When somebody dies, they do an autopsy test or an analysis to see what was the cause of death. If you've made some mistake, can you understand in your business life, what did you do wrong in your business that you hope to do right? How can you do it better? But even better, as a group, can you also identify how not to do things? How not to do things. In my business, I have known exactly how not to do things. Right now, here, what's going to happen under this stage now? This is where now we do this, okay? So now here we're asking questions, or like we have questions, we engage into a dialogue and debate, executive decisions. We ask questions, we do an autopsy and analyze our situations and things like that. You are honest people want to grow. Tamle ishinga bata yo. Like makuru motivation speaker wa mishinga mwa ishinga bata mwa. Mfabu ino mwana mtema kunganda 2 days because interest. No, this is real. You have to commit. Right? Once you discuss, you apply the changes, you try what you've discussed, make executive decisions. Treat yourself as a real business, as a company, be professional. All right? Now, I'm not kick that person out. Remain with people who are going to. Let me tell you what I did last semester, Stephanie. I had about 11 or so students in one of the courses I lecture. And every time they were coming late, I asked them, why are you late? They tell me, no, my boss didn't give me permission. No, I was in traffic. No, my friend had Chilanga. So I was thinking, and I'm saying, these people are going to mess up my reputation. I have such an excellent reputation when it comes to these courses, and I do an amazing job. So if these people begin to fail, they dent my name. So what I did, I kicked all of them out of my class. I remained with one man, just one man. And this man yesterday called me because he was also out 2 days ago and he passed. I was very happy because I focused on somebody who was having the same vision as me. It's not about having numbers in your group. Have people who are able to contribute, people who are able to do the right things. So I kicked all those in that particular class out and I remained with one person. Why did I tell them I don't want your money? Because I knew even if I get their money, they will not make it. These are lazy people who don't want to do what they're supposed to do, So for me, success for students or for my clients is more important than money. Because I also have a reputation I'm building. If my clients are failing, my clients are progressing, my business will also not progress. So it's important to have people who are serious in your group. All right. Now, I want to bring this thought here to our friends this morning. So how will you know if you have found your hedge or concept? If you have found your hedge, how will you know? Jim Collins in his book said, when you find it, you have the quiet ping of truth that is undeniable, and you will know. You will know without an inch of doubt that this is the thing that makes me succeed. This is the thing that is going to make me make millions and millions of dollars. Right now, I've found mine, and I know. So the question I want to ask here is, now we've talked about the hedge or concept, all right? We have talked about these 3 things. Now let's get back and use the hedge or concept to find the niche, because we are saying finding your niche in your business. How can you do that? So now let's get back to our hedge or concept, that's our diagram, and now let's use our diagram to find our niche. So how can we find our niche? Right now, that's the question we are going to answer now. So that our audience who are participating right now, we are very grateful. We see we have a lot of comments right now. I can see there are over 148 comments coming through. Friends, we are going to check them through. Keep those comments coming. Let us know if this session is benefiting you. All right. All those comments will not go in vain. We'll check them through, and I hope Stephen and I are going to mention some of them. Yeah, thank you very much. So now Let's now get through how you can find your niche. How can you find your niche? How do you do that? What should you do that could currently tap on what you are good at? What should you do right now that could currently tap at what you are good at, fulfills you, but at the same time earns you a good amount of money? Because you don't want to have free passion, just free passion. I'm passionate about cutting trees, and cutting trees does not pay your bills. Why are you wasting passion? You're wasting passion. You're passionate about plaiting hair. Plaiting hair is not benefiting you in any way. You're doing it for free. Why are you passionate about that? You're passionate about doing this thing. It's not paying your bills. So why you're wasting passion? Find your personal hedgehog here, Stephanie. Now, start by answering each of these three questions honestly. Now, I want our audience, this is the part where I want to see these comments. So all of you who are watching us live right now, I see we have 150 comments right now. Now, I want you guys who are watching us live to answer these questions honestly in the comment section. These questions are for you. Number one question I want the audience to answer right now is, what can you be best at in the world? Guys, comment in the session. We want to see, tell us, what can you be best at in the world? What do you think, in your honest, infinite wisdom, what do you think you can do better? This thing, just one thing in your life that you can do well. Comment in the comment section. All right? Comment that in the comment section. And Stephen and I will pick up those comments. What is it, that one thing? All right? What is that one thing? Right, and I'm gonna pause here, Stephanie. Any thoughts from you, Stephanie? While our people are answering this one, let me just pause for a minute, and I'll be happy to get some thoughts from you, Stephanie, on this one.
Wow, I think I do have a lot when it comes to the hedgehog concept, and obviously finding my niche in business. So one of the things that has definitely stood out for me is, what can you be best at in the world? And for me, world is what you create. The world you live in, you alone are your own world. So what are you best at in the world that you've created? The world that you've created in your community, the world that you've created at your workplace. What are you best at? What can you do? And of course, what are you passionate about? I think these two thoughts have actually got me driving. So, okay, there's definitely something I can do about what I'm best at in the world. Let's say, for instance, I'm best at what I do, talking, maybe mentorship, maybe business. But obviously, there's just one thing that stands out, that maybe it could be communicating, because I do it all the time. So is it making money for me? And an honest answer is yes. So everyone does have that one thing that they can do best, and it needs to make money, really needs to make money. And if you have actually found out what your niche is, it would also be good if you could actually comment in the comment section and tell us what you do best and how it's definitely bringing you money. If you're good in baking, if tailoring comes naturally for you, then that could actually be what you're best at in the world. And also, one thing that I'm looking forward to is, what drives your economic engine? I think I want to talk about that so much. What drives your economic engine?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that so much. But prior to that, Mr. Lusambo, we do have quite a message that's different from what we're talking about, but I'm really going to read it.
Yes.
We might find time to maybe pass through it. It comes from Matthews, and he's saying, "Good morning, Mr. Lusambo. How can I get my gratuity from my former employer since 2017? I knew about it after having my statement at NAPSA." So that's actually Matthews asking about how to get his retirement package, obviously.
All right, of course, we can address that one. I think after the program, we are going to be able to. I'll pick that one up, and then we can advise. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can advise.
Yeah. I think, and one other thing I do know is what you can do best actually goes hand in hand with what you're passionate about. So first, I think you start with what you're passionate about. Correct me if I'm wrong. What you're passionate about is what you start with. Then it actually becomes something you're best at because you groom it. Obviously, you keep growing it slowly, slowly until it becomes something big enough that you could actually get money for. And for others, if you're lucky, you will not even need capital to start to do what you're actually passionate about. And I think those are the things we should be looking forward to if we are to grow even the economy at large. What thing you can do even without capital when you could just start and obviously you're into it and do it best. Yeah, I
Indeed.
think the economy could actually become even way better.
Fantastic. So now that our friends have answered, we have seen some answers from Derek who says no. We have different answers from Kwangu. We have Innocent who says consultants and lecturers. Now let's go to the next question, okay? Now the
Mhm.
next question that we want to answer is this one. So now the first one there we have answered what you think you can be good at. Now here's my comment on that one.
Mhm.
Yes, something. For example, what you are good at, guys, could be anything. Are you maybe particularly good at sport like swimming or badminton? You know, today I was at the gym. You know, I was at the gym. I have a trainer, and now I have a trainer. Okay, so he's going to be training me and showing me how to do things. So this man is very knowledgeable. He taught me the different body parts. He measured my height. He taught me my body mass index, my water levels in my system, my bone strength, all these things I was being shown, like, this Cadivas they have, and I was just amazed. This guy is good at this thing, all right? So each one's got something they are good at, all right? So, I'm
Mm.
good at numbers, and when I talk about numbers, people get fascinated, but I'm also fascinated by other people's, brilliance. When I see, like this man I met at the gym is going to be my coach now. He explains these things about my water levels, my body mass index, and what exercise I need to do, looking at my current weight and stuff like that. It was so nice to know that, right? So now,
Mhm.
yeah, obviously you could be somebody who's a sport enthusiast, or maybe you love to talk a lot. Maybe you have a lot of free time. You love to write stuff. All right. So find a specific area in which you are strong in. Obviously, you may not be the best as yet in that area, all right? But the key is to find the niches where you can excel. That's the point. Guys, type that in the comments. Say, I may not be good at it right now, but the key is to find the niche where I can excel. That's the key. For now, you may not be good at this thing. You may not be the best, but with time, you can be the best. So the key is to find a niche where you're good at. Write that in the comment. I may not be good at it right now, but the key is to find a niche where I can excel. That's the key. So an important note is that the word world can have multiple meanings. A good example could be a specific region, a domain, your community, the area where you're found. Right. So if you can't imagine yourself becoming the best at something globally, can you please start by considering a smaller world? Can you be the best plumber in your community? Can you be, the best fabricator in your neighborhood? Can you be the best, pianist in Zambia? Can you be the best process engineer in your, in Lusaka? Can you be the best doctor in Lusaka? Right, and so on. Can you be the great lecturer in Zambia? Can you be the great speaker in Zambia? What can you become in your community that people can identify you for? And this is what I advise people on social media. When you come to social media and you want to make it, you must have a footprint that people will know you for. If I talk about drinking water, automatically I'm going to think about Dr. Mchajati. Do you know why? Because he has a digital footprint. Every time you think about a doctor who helps people with mental health, you're going to think about Dr. Clinton Kadochi. He talks about mental health a lot. Every time you think about a doctor who's helping people in a lot of issues to do with their personal awareness, prostate cancer, overall health, you think about Dr. Mjajati. Do you know why? Because these two individuals have established a footprint, and we're able to identify them by those footprints. What is your footprint on social media? Are you just a general guy, a general dealer? You just do. No one even knows what you stand for on your Facebook page. What do you stand for?
Mhm.
That's extremely important to know. So an important aspect of this question is this. Is there a need for what you have to offer? Remember, we said you can ask a question like, you can ask yourself this kind of question and stuff like that. All right. Now, question number 2, I want you to ask yourself is this, friends. What drives your economic engine? What drives, guys, tell me, what do you think drives your economic engine in your business? Tell me in the comment. These are important questions you must answer. Now, let's answer question number 2. What drives your economic engine? The key to this question, Stefan, is to find the areas where you are most marketable. I know where I'm most marketable. Do you know yours? What do people pay you to do? I know what people can pay me to do. Do you know yours? What problems will people pay you to solve? I know the problem people pay me to solve. Do you know yours? What pain points do you address? I know the pain points I address. Do you know yours? What value do you deliver? I know my value proposition. Do you know yours? These are things that are going to drive your economic engine, things that will bring money in your bank account. Why should somebody pay? I'm paying my trainer at the gym because I've seen the value is going to give me. I just told you he was able to measure all these things for me and made me understand my height together with how my heart should and my weight should be able to move and stuff like that. I didn't know all those things. I've been exercising all along, but this time I took it serious and because it's one of my goals for 2023 to become more fit. Now, this time I've learned a lot about my height and I should match my weight and things like that. Now I know, I didn't know those things. So I'm paying this man money because it's adding value to my life and I appreciate the value. So an important aspect of this question is this. Is there a need for what you have to offer? Don't just offer things because you like them. Identify the need. Do people need this thing? Sell what people want, not what you want. So the mode of delivery, right? Whether you offer a training, consulting service, or you are a software programmer, you create apps, you are an app developer, that's less important. How you deliver something is not very much important. What's important is this question. Is there a need? Is there anybody who would pay you for doing that? So before you start a business, ask yourself, is there a need? Who is going to buy from me? Be honest. Don't just go in business out of excitement. Question number 3. Guys, tell us how you're finding this information. Tell us in the comments. Stefan and I will be happy to begin to pick some of the few comments. Question number 3 says, what are you deeply passionate about? And Stefan did talk about this quite well. Now, guys, what really excites you, pumps you up. You must know that. I have things that excite me a lot. For example, I have some people, they are excited by football. I am not a football person. I don't even know players myself, okay? I don't watch football. It's once in a while. Maybe I'm just not busy, then I'm home. If I'm not watching National Geographic Channel, I love to watch animals. If I'm not watching animals, maybe I'll say, let me see, is there any game? Then my nephew tell me, there's this game which people are talking about, then I'm going to watch, but I'm not a football person, all right? So what can make you jump out of the bed each morning feeling energized? What is it? I have something that makes me wake up in the morning, and I mentor people, all right? I talk to people every day about numbers because I know how ugly poverty is. I know the ugly side of poverty myself. So what could you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? Have you reached a point as a person where you can say, you know what, for the rest of my life, this is my path. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish in my life. Today we had Garamkani, who has been announced that is passed. That man fought to the very end. He chose his path in life, and that path benefited him. Mr. Felix Banda showed us that data is possible. The man was sick. He fought every single time he stood. He inspired somebody. He always had a way of creating an impact. He was being hired left, right, and center by different companies, different countries. Do you know why? Because he identified his hedgehog concept. He chose his path. Even when he's gone, his message still stands, it lives. What is it that you've identified as a business person? This is going to be my path in life. What is it? Stop playing around, not to shinga, but quit playing around. Start getting serious with your life. What is it? For you to become the best in your field and earn a good fee for your products, for services, guys, you need to persist through problems and challenges. And that's what we saw from Felix Banda. The man, if resilience was a human being, this man could be one. This man showed exceptional levels of resilience. He stood up, he fought so hard, even when he was sick, and few days later he would be sick, 2 days later he would be at an event speaking. He organized events in a wheelchair, and he was sick. Not that this is a man who was so strong, no. He was strong inside, he had a strong mental attitude, and he fought so hard to the very end. What is it that you are willing to fight for? Right? So find your hedgehog concept. Finding your personal hedgehog concept, your personal hedgehog will not be easier. It will not be faster, right? But finding your hedgehog concept will set you apart. It will distinguish you. There's a reason why when you talk about chartered accountants who are doing the program that I do, my name pops up. Everywhere in this country, I have people from the UK, India, Botswana, Kenya, Malawi, Zimbabwe. They are my clients. Do you know why? Because I've found my niche. A group of people who are able to buy from me. I don't come to social media to target everyone. No, that's not, I don't do that. I have a specific kind of client I come for social media for. When I come to social media to speak, I have one specific kind of person I'm looking for. I'm not for everybody. Come to social media to target everyone. No, that's not, I don't do that. So you must understand that. But when you find this hedgehog, I promise you, you know. All right? You know. You know. So if you are feeling lost, frustrated, I say to you, take heart in the fact that others also searching for answers are there. So while the process may not happen overnight, you will eventually get there. Keep deepening understanding of the 3 questions to find the intersection, all right? And I'm going to say all the best. Find the intersection. Be willing to spend a few coins on your knowledge. Be willing to attend events. Be willing to learn from other people. Be willing to spend money on yourself. Read. You know what shocks me? People are willing to pay so much money to know about unit trusts. Really? Why don't you go to social to Google or go to Bank of Zambia, also go to say buy 5 kwacha bundle and read about unit trusts. They have even the companies which are offering those services. Go and read. Invest in books, buy books, read, invest in knowledge, spend money on masterclasses that are beneficial to you. Whenever you hear something is for free, you rush. Something is being paid for, you don't go. How are you going to become better? There is no real value to free things. Every time you pay attention. So I think this is where I would like to end our presentation for today, Stephanie, and let's take our comments from our friends. And I want to hear your views, Stephanie. All right, I want to hear your views. What do you think of today's session? What is your takeaway, Stephanie? Right, so that we can also hear from our friends.
My takeaway from today's session is that no matter what it is, you can be good. You can actually be good. Maybe you've not discovered what your talent is. Do not feel left out of our conversation. Sit down and obviously pound on it. Continue to think about what you can do best. If you've not yet been doing it to the best of your ability, then you could actually start now. And what better way to start than just right now? So it's been an interesting conversation. I know you've learned 1 or 2 things. We don't just want you to keep the knowledge. We want you to do what you've learned. So definitely, we'll get to read some of the comments. And of course, Derek P, is it Kamzaza, right? Says, what is it that you are good about that can give you value, what people can pay for? Exactly. And this one is Tisa, right? And it says your organization must understand how to generate and sustain cash flow and profitability. Exactly.
Yeah, very good. That's very true. So guys, tell us, what are your takeaways? We want to hear from you. What are your takeaways from today's session? Give us some feedback. Stefan and I are working so hard behind the scenes to ensure that we come through and we share this information with you. People charge for this information, friends. All right, and we are so grateful for having an audience like yourselves. You're always there. We have over 200 comments right now. We're unable to read all of them, but we are very grateful for all of you who've been watching us and things like that. So give us your takeaways. We have about 4 minutes before we can go, and we'll be happy to use this time to look at a few things. What are your takeaways? What are you going home with today? What have you learned from this session? We'll be happy to hear from you. Do you have any question for us? Do you have any question for us?
Chiluk, is it Chilukang, right? Kwangu, right, says applying what have learned will help. Definitely, you really need to apply. And this one says you are right. Of course, we know, and that's actually a good thing to know that you're just going to apply what you have learned. You gotta trust the process. It's never too late. You might have shined in the basket, but obviously you could still dive back and get this knowledge, apply it, and obviously give us feedback. Continue to share our posts, our live broadcast, I mean. And this is Shasha says, okay, we actually have read that comment out. I think, okay, that was actually Derek. We've read that one out as well.
Yeah, so spend time on knowledge, all right? What are your takeaways? Tell us what you are taking home with. We're very grateful. No, there are lots of comments. I'm unable to we're unable to scroll back, but we'll be happy to see a few comments in 3 minutes. What are your takeaways? What are your questions for me and Stefan? And Stefan, I like what you said about passion. No, people are passionate about things that don't pay them. Don't waste passion, people. People don't waste passion. Or
I
passion
think, yeah,
pafinta upanga kuendera uposa festa na passion ya vlogrondroka. Don't waste passion, my man.
it would
Passion
be a
should
good
pay you.
statement to make, yes, in the comments
Yeah.
to see, I will not waste my passion anymore.
Don't waste your passion. Let your passion benefit you. All right? It's not like passion you're born with it. We build our passions in life. You can build something meaningful as a passion. Don't be deceived. It's like don't be deceived. No, this is my passion. No, you set your passion because you like it. You can still find something you like and begin to do it. It's not like it's any doubt you can't change your mind because you like it. No, you can change and find something meaningful and excel at that particular thing. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful, Stefan. You've been a great host. And I don't know what you're going to close with as we conclude this session, Stefan. I don't know. I want to hear from you more, Stefan.
As we close today, we are very hopeful that just like Chichi says, knowing what I'm good at, know what you're good at, do what you're good at, be what you're good at, and of course, make sure at all costs, learn, just learn, be willing to pay money for it, and of course, join every single Tuesday as we always will take you on this ride of accounting and business. So today it's been about how to find your niche in business. Hopeful you have found your niche because I have, and obviously I know that somebody else has as well. Keep it locked on Timani FM Radio 93.7. From now until next week, it's goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.